Welcome back to Living with a Classic. Not sure if you can see this on camera, but you see my breath? It's really cold. It's about -4 degrees Celsius or 4 degrees below freezing. We've had a couple of days of cold now. Yesterday we got a tiny bit of snow, but it sort of went away in 15 minutes. But today we're supposed to get a snowstorm this afternoon, and it's supposed to snow for about 3 days. So I thought, you know, perfect time to take this thing out and be able to show you a little bit about the 123. I'm also going to go and do some shopping. But I've been driving it with the 123 now for a bit. Haven't done a ton of miles on it yet, but I've made a couple small changes to the map, and I've also gone out on tests. I've had the phone sitting here in the phone holder, and I've just been able to have a look at it while I'm driving and just see sort of what the advance is doing, and I'm not going into weird. If you remember correctly, I copied a 22, I think it's called a 22D Lucas distributor, with the one used in the 4.2 E-types, Series 1 XJ6 and early Series 2. I do have a Series 1 4.2 engine in here, so I thought that was a good curve to use. And I've also noticed that it should be pretty safe, and it has been pretty safe. So I haven't seen any more. At about wide open throttle, I've pulled this thing up to about 4,000 RPMs or thereabout, and I've seen just slightly over 30 degrees advance, which is still very safe. But you guys want to know how it runs. Well, it starts better. It starts quicker and like more energetic. So I actually think I do need to sort of tune my AED a little bit, because that's why I think we had a slight little hiccup right now when it started. But overall, it is running much better. The misfire it had is completely gone. It is silky smooth. Fires up better, like I said. So the old ignition system I had was from a Series 3 XJ6, so it's electronic. It was also used on some late Series 2 in certain markets. And I think the module, which is a GM module inside, was just sort of broken, and that's what was causing it. So if I replaced that, it would probably run better. But this is a lot peppier with this. I think it's just because everything is done electronically and very precise. You don't have to worry about springs being worn out or weights sticking a little bit when it's cold out. So for instance, even if everything's perfectly lubricated, on a cold day like this, I'm willing to bet that the weights get a little bit stuck. So yeah, this thing is really good. We're starting to get up to temperature here, but I mean, everything is still sort of cold. So I'm going to run down the mountain here. I'm going to do a little bit of shopping, and then on the way back, I'll show you guys. We'll do a little bit more full throttle things, and I'll show you guys really how it advances, and I'll let you guys know what I changed in the map so far. Just did my shopping. I'm back in the car here, and I just want to show you one thing. I haven't connected the app today. I just turned on my Bluetooth, and that's the thing that really impresses me, how quickly it connects. So turn on the ignition, open 123 tune, and there we go, connected. I have no other Bluetooth device that connects as well as this. I mean, headphones, cars, anything, nothing connects as well. Let's see how it fires up. Alright, I think it was just, I have a little bit too much choke, I've noticed. I'm going to reset my AED because I retuned the carbs a little bit with this new ignition system. But other than that, you see very stable idle, and everything is like it should be. The one thing I have changed is here. I gave it 8 degrees at 500 RPM, so that gives a good bit of advance when it's in gear as well. Other than that, I've kept everything, and it works really well. So see, running really well. So let's drive back now. The one thing I've really noticed is if you're driving along, right now I'm at 30 kilometers an hour, just creeping along at idle. Let's say I pretend I'm coming to a stop, or just slow down for something, and then just how smoothly it pulls away like that. And, running really well. Like I said, it's nice to be able to keep an eye on things, make sure everything's fine. I have verified with a test light that I set up TDC correct, so at idle it shows 8 degrees on the test light as well. Other than that, I don't really know what else to say besides that I'm very happy with it. When we get a little bit closer to home here, we're going to have a long uphill stretch, and then we'll put it down in a second and give it some throttle, and you guys can hopefully hear. I mean, this thing's fairly quiet, but hopefully you can hear a little bit. I have noticed a couple other things now that this thing's running so well. I do have a few small things I want to fix on this car, so it may go off the road for a little bit just because I want to fix that. For a while, I've noticed that my brake servo has been on the way out. The brakes have felt stiffer and stiffer, and everything else in the system is new, and I noticed that now as well. I did a test yesterday, so when I had it cold started and it was on high idle and I was still in park, and when it was running perfectly smooth, as soon as I put my foot on the brake, I mean, I haven't touched the gear shift or anything, we're still in park, foot on the brake, it went down about 50 RPMs and it started missing. So definitely have a vacuum leak there. I have a spare one laying around, which should be a good used one. So we'll try that out. Otherwise, we'll buy a new one. They're kind of expensive, but that's just one thing. Gotta have good brakes. Even though, I mean, it stops well enough, but I want this to be, the goal with this, more besides also daily driving it, is I want to let other people experience classic Jag. So if someone's never driven one of these, I want to be able to hand them the keys and be like, this one runs great, this is what they're supposed to run like, and try it out. And well, I want good brakes. Also, I want my wife to be able to feel safe and drive this car, so really important always to have good brakes. But now let's have a look at the app. Let's see, we're driving along here at 60 kilometers an hour. We are doing 1400 RPM, 1450, 1500 engaged, so very, very accurate. And we got 25 degrees of advance, negative 0.3 bar of vacuum. We're charging at 14 volts, and let's see, temperature under the bonnet is 40 degrees Celsius down there, so a little bit warm and cozy besides it being so cold outside. But 1 minute, we're going to turn up the mountain here, and there's the up road, and we'll floor it a little bit. You guys will really be able to tell how well it accelerates. All right, there we go. That is, I'm not sure if that was second. I think that was third gear. It kicked down all the way, but let's do that one more time. We are doing about 60 so far, but yeah, that's second. 24 degrees of advance, 3000 RPMs, 28, 30, there we go. Shifts beautifully, and everything just seems very, very happy. I actually do think I could give it a tiny bit more, but this is definitely not a race car, and it's never intended to be with a 3-speed automatic, but it is very rev happy. Let me show you. Builds revs very well, and it's just good to see that everything is working as it could. It's very, very cool, this dash. I have not set up, I think that must be a setting thing, I haven't set up the GPS speedo on it. May do that at some point so I can compare the speedo in my car. I know my speedo's off by about 5 kilometers an hour or something like that, but it's pretty close. What can I say? It's a good product. I'm very, very happy with it, and I'm very happy to do a long test, because that's the thing that I haven't seen that many of. I've seen one other long test. The guy who does classic alphas, Jeff Bromer or something, he has a video where he had a 3 different classic alphas, and he done a total of 100,000 kilometers on it, and it's been fine. And then I've heard some horror stories of people saying, oh, it breaks and things like that. I think if something happens with it, I think it's because you've had a bad coil or something else, and you've overloaded the electronics or something along those lines. Because at least that's what I think. Is a lot of electronics in there, and I think it's good. You need to have a good charging system, and you need to have the right coil. So I think buying a coil from them as well is worth the investment. That way, it works with your distributor. We will do a long test on this thing and let you guys know. I think we'll do a couple updates a little bit. Oh, it's very sunny. Do a couple updates along the way, but we'll do a 6-month one, and we'll do a 1-year update. But of course, if anything happens, I will let you guys know. But anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. And if you feel like helping out the channel a little bit more, I do have a Patreon where you get some extra videos of 3 different projects, and you get early access to most content. Anyways, until next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.